So, good morning, class. How are you all? So, today we are going to discuss our next further topic, that is how the food is prepared by the plants itself. So, we are going to uh, start the topic, that synthesis of plant food. So, you notice that many of the things are being prepared by the plant. So the next one is the carbohydrates, as they make their own food and require some of the food for itself. So it contains carbon dioxide and carbohydrates, nutrients, and the nitrogen also. So where do the plant get its nitrogen? Yes, class. So it gets its it gets its nitrogen component nitrogen component from air. So as you can see, it gets its nitrogen component from the air. So from air, like you have seen, the plants does not utilize the whole of the nitrogen by itself. So there are some of the microorganism. Do you know some of the microorganism or the bacteria that are essential for fixing the nitrogen? Yes, class. So there are some of the like bacteria are there for fixing nitrogen. So these bacteria or the fungi or the organism are known as the nitrogen fixation bacteria. So we will be going to study that the nitrogen is present in the whole air, and for that the plant does not directly take up the nitrogen. It requires some of the person or some of the organism or the other organism to convert into the simpler forms. So we will be going to study about that nitrogen fixation bacteria. So first one is rhizobium. As in your book, only rhizobium is given over here, and you have seen some of the farmers, like some of the farmers some of the farmers uh, like put fertilizer on this soil and during the agriculture purposes. For that, you have seen the artificial nitrogen also, that the farmer contain from the from the market or from anywhere else. So the nitrogen is a very essential component for the synthesis of food and for the growth of food. So now we have studied about the nitrogen bacteria, that is rhizobium and rhizopus also. So these are the two bacteria that are very much essential for fixing of nitrogen. Like other modes of nutrition in plants, so we will be going to discuss about the other modes of nitrogen, the other modes of nutrition in plants. So we have talked about earlier, we have talked about autotrophs and heterotrophs. So here we are going to study about the other modes of nutrition. Modes of nutrition. Sorry. Modes of nutrition. So, can you suggest what are the modes of nutrition? Yes, class. What are the different modes of nutrition? Yes, you can speak or you can tell also. So, the other nutrition modes of nutrition are heterotrophic mode. So, heterotrophic mode of reproduction. Mode of plant food. Not reproduction. So here what happens in heterotrophic mode? Yes, can anyone suggest? So in heterotrophic mode, there are some of the And like you have seen the like trees who climb on the other plants also. You have seen that also. So in that we can see they are climbing to the other parts of the plant, like for example like climbers, and climbers, money plant, and the other examples are also climbers, creepers. So you have seen some of the plants there also. So you can see some of the plants climb on the other plant or the other part of the plant. So these are known as the climbers and creepers. And by the climb, because some of the plants do not make their own food, they are very much dependent on the other on the other plant. So firstly the food is prepared by the host plant, and the other which is climbing on that plant or the part, it will provide some of the support to the host plant, and the host plant will provide some of the food to the other plants. So that is known as the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So here you have seen the cascata or the Amarbale. So you have seen the cascata or amarbale is also an example of heterotrophic mode of nutrition. And you have seen that it doesn't have chlorophyll. So it doesn't have chlorophyll, and that's why it climbs on the host, because it doesn't have chlorophyll. And some of the leaves of that also are very much blue or like brownish or yellowish in color, so it doesn't contain much amount of chlorophyll to make its own food. So now next is, so like cascada is also an example of parasite, because it is dependent on the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So can you suggest some of the other animals that are dependent on others? Yes. Some of the animals, the examples of animals that are dependent on each other. So we also, the human or the animals are also dependent on each other. Like there is a cycle, food chain or the cycle. We will be going to discuss it on further topics or further classes. So here we can see that some of the animals, like for example we are also dependent on parasitic or heterotrophic mode of nutrition, like some of the organisms are also dependent on it. So have you seen some of the plants that climb on other, and that they require some of the nutrition from the other plant like organism or the plant part? Yes. So you can suggest that also. So have you seen, I am going to make a diagram here. So like you have seen this type of plant that have some of the like this is a lid, like this is a cap, and this is a lid here. This is a lid over here, and then there is a leaf modified. This is a part of a leaf. Leaf is modified into pitcher. So leaf is modified into pitcher. Pitcher is something that has open, like this is a pitcher shape, like this is an open space or like a pot like structure. So leaf is modified into pitcher, So have you seen this type of plant? Yes. So this is known as the pitcher plant. As the name suggests, this is called as pitcher plant. So what it does, so whenever like insect or an organism tap on the surface, like in this surface, the lid goes to down and collect the organism in it, and after that in this portion it get like it went to here, and then after so many days it kept on going, and after that the pitcher plants releases some of the chemicals to trap the organism, and after that from that chemical the organism is going to like decay, or after that the pitcher plant gets its nutrition from the organism or the insects that are being collected over this picture. So this type of plants comes under insectivorous plants. So you can see the whole nutrition is based on the insects or the organisms. So it comes under insectivorous plants. Insectivorous plants. So this is an example of insectivorous plants. So now next is other mode of nutrition. So now next is other mode of nutrition, that is you have seen some of the like mushrooms. You have seen some of the mushrooms are growing on, and after some of the days the mushroom tends to decay, or like they have some fungus over them, and sometime it has grown some of the like like mushroom is grown on the moist soil. So here you can see like you have seen like if I took a bread and kept it on a moist area, so what does it contains? It contains some of the fungus or the bacteria that is grown over the bread. So that mode of nutrition. So the grown organism are called as fungus. So the grown organism are called as fungus. So the mold or the grown organism are known as fungus, and then so they absorb the nutrient from the decay matter. So here you can see the organism. Fungus is an organism that obtain the nutrition from plant. From fungus or the organism. From fungus or the organism. So here in this case, this type of nutrition comes under saprophytic nutrition, because the nutrition which is like fungus is getting from the bread or the mold from the bread, so that is totally based on decaying matter. So here you can write it as decaying matter. So here you can see decaying matter is here, or the fungus is totally dependent on decaying matter. So that process or that mode of nutrition comes under saprophytic nutrition. It is saprophytic nutrition. So are you clear with it? Like I have some of the fungus you have seen on the pickles also, or the jam or the sports also. So these are the example of saprophytic mode of nutrition. So there are some of the riddles that are given over in your NCERT book. So some of the you have to say it. So in which season like growth of fungus is very much high? So the growth of fungus is very much high in like moist or the monsoon season, because the moisture content or the humidity is at its worst, and the humidity is very much high during monsoon season. You can see there is a like stickiness in your hands, or like in your area or in your room also. So next one is, the third one is, you have seen some of the plants or the animals like they live inside our body or inside our, but they don't harm us very much. So this type of nutrition is known as symbiosis. So you have seen lichens, lichens or lichens. So you have seen lichens, and you can see that they suck the like some of the like some they suck some of the like they suck some of the nutrition from the plant parts or the like the alga, and then they provide the fungus provide them shelter to live in, and they provide some of the nutrition to the lichen also. So here you can see leaves also. So in human you can see leaves is also a like type of example that lives on our hairs also, you can see, and it lives on our hair and sucks the blood, but it does not harm us very much, it stays, and this is also known as the example of symbiosis also. So here you can see the fungus and algae live together. So another example is algae or fungus. So you can see the algae or fungus in a pond live together, and you can see some of the like some of the algae don't have some of the fungus don't have the chlorophyll, so and the algae also don't have, so they provide some of the chlorophyll to it, and for like they feed on the fungus, like fungus feed on the algae or the other parts of the plant, and in return the algae prepare and provides food to the fungus. So you can see the algae provide the food and nutrition to the fungus, and the fungus is providing shelter to the the algae also provides shelter to the fungus also.